Alright, so now we are going to be working on a details page for a specific flower, and I will also show you how to work with semantic URLs as well. So I've done some work of camera. I've just modified our flower preview partial and also our tags partial, so that when we click on a specific tag, look at the bottom over here, we get we get a URL that will filter our results depending on this tag. So if I click here, I should get interesting in here, and as you can see, I now get only the interesting stuff. Okay, let's just take a quick look at this preview. So here I've just put a link in the name of the flower. So this thing over here is now link, and I've said that I want to use the root path. So this is basically this part of our URL, and then I'm just adding the name of the page that I want to access, and I'm also passing ID of my flower as an argument. So if I click here, then you can see I get flower 19. And let me just quickly open administration. So under pages, we have created the flowers page, actually the flower page. This is the page that will display data about one specific flower. And over here you can see that we have created a parameter for this page, which is called flower ID. And we can use this parameter to capture this number over here and then use it in our data source to filter and get data for only one specific flower. Okay, so let's just also take a quick look at the tags. As you can see, nothing much has changed. I've just also created the root, and then I've said that I want to go to the flowers page, and also I've added question mark tags and handle, which is basically a sanitized version of the tag name. So not much there. Excellent. So let me just quickly create the page for, actually the theme child page for the specific flower preview. Okay, so I have created XSL that will generate our flower details. So let's see how it looks. And as you can see, I have my title, price, I have the tags that I've put for this flower, I have tags that will lead me to the flower list that will be then filtered by the selected tag. And we also have a little gallery with the main image over here and some smaller images, and when we click on it, we can simply slide through this gallery. I'm using Lightbox jQuery plugin for this, and I have also created some JIT image manipulation recipes in administration, and we'll come to that a bit later. So let's first of all see what I did here. In the data sources, I have created a flower data source, so that will give me the single flower based on this ID that is passed here. And let's take a look at how it looks. So as you can see, I'm drawing this flower from the flowers, and I have a required parameter, which is flower ID. And in case this parameter is not present, I will redirect the user to the 404 page. So if I try to delete this and then access the flower page, you can see that we are getting redirected to our 404 page. Okay, and over here I am filtering our data source over here, flower section. I'm filtering all the entries by the flower ID, and since the system ID is unique for every entry in the Symphony, I'm guaranteed to get only one flower, and specifically one with our define ID. And also we can redirect to 404 page when no results are found as well. So I should check this in case someone just types in some random number here, then I will also get redirected to the 404 page. And I haven't saved this data source yet, so it doesn't work now. Okay, and I'm also checking if it's published, so I don't want to show unpublished flower, and this is all default. And now we're coming to the included elements, so I just want to show you something over here. I'm including name, price, and description. Notice that we have description formatted and unformatted. And if you remember, we have put a markdown field for editing in our flower section, so I'll just quickly open that. So as you can see, we have our markdown editor, and markdown is a specific syntax that will generate HTML eventually. So this is the heading 1 tag, so I can just type something here. This would be a list, so we can just type list item, second list item, and so on. Subtitle, like something over here. So I'll just save changes, and let's take a look at how our flower looks. Okay, and I'll just refresh the page, and as you can see, I get this nicely generated HTML here instead of these hashtags and pluses and whatever. So in our data source, we can actually select formatted and unformatted style. So unformatted description would be this thing over here, and formatted description is actually the generated HTML that we require. So let me just save the changes, and let's take a look at debugger. So over here we have our flower. We can see the section, and then we have only one entry because we have filtered our entries in such a way so that we only get specific flower with the ID of 10. And in here we have a description, and under this description we have all this generated HTML. But notice that HTML is also XML as well, so these are basically nodes within the nodes. So how can we actually just use XSL to output these exact nodes along with their not just the text, the value, or just the property, but we actually want to output this complete node with opening, closing tags. And what I'm going to show you can also apply to anything here, so you can output this whole node set in this way. So over here in my flower child page, where I'm actually generating this HTML, as you can see, I have flower name, then I'm getting the value of the name of our flower and price, blah blah blah, and then I'm getting to this part over here. As you can see, I'm using a new XSL command or node or whatever, and I'm selecting description / node, and node is a special function that will give us back the output, the copy of all of the nodes within the description. So in this way we can actually output HTML along with its tags. So if I try to, I don't know, do something like val of description, and let's just remove this for a second, then we should just get the plain text from each node without h1. And this is because XSL is defined by a standard, and in this standard it says that in case we forget to match some nodes within a certain node, then the default template, recursive template, will be applied to them that will output all the text values from each node. So only this will be outputted. Okay, so let's just reverse this quickly and let's continue. Okay, so the way I'm doing this gallery, let me just show you this as well. I have created two templates and both of those work on gallery file node. So this is why we actually have to use the mode in this case. And I have one template for the main image, and I have one template for the gallery image. And notice that over here I'm applying the main image template to the first file in the gallery. And over here I'm applying actually over here, gallery image, I'm applying the regular gallery image, so this would be those little thumbnails. I'm applying this template only to the files that whose position is greater than 1, so meaning I'm applying this to all nodes except the first node. So let's try to match this in our debugger. So I can say something like / gallery file 1, and as you can see I've selected only the first file, and then I can say position is greater than 1, and now you can see I've selected all of these other files. And we could have done this in many ways. We could have, for example, done something like apply templates to something like this, and mode would be gallery image, and now we can for example put this in here so that we have our grid maintained, and this over here. And this is just another way to do things without actually using the for each loop. So we can just recursively apply this template. And if we refresh now, it should also give us the same result, as you can see. And there is also one thing I've missed. So we actually don't want to show the gallery if there is no gallery to show. So test if gallery, then we'll show this. Otherwise we'll just omit the gallery, like so. And now this should work correctly for other for flowers that don't have images defined. For example, let's choose this one, and now we don't have this gallery generated over here. So let me just inspect this element, and as you can see, this is the only div within the article. Okay, so let's now take a look at how we can make this URL a little bit more prettier. For example, right now we have flower 19, but this doesn't really tell us much about this flower. We would want something like flower / flower flower name, something of this format. And let's see how we can do this. First of all, we would have to change our little partial for flower preview, and instead of the ID for the link, we should try and put name handle. So let's select name and get the handle for this name. So let's see what we have now under the flowers. And if I go over it, you can notice under here that we are getting flower-5. So if I click this, I should get redirected to 404 page because we have not found this entry. And this is because we are currently filtering flower ID on the system ID. So let's remove this filter and let's now filter by the name. So I'm just going to add this filter here and I'll put this variable over here. Now we should probably rename this to handle or something later, but we would have to go to the pages and to change this. So I'm just going to leave it this way and let's save. And if I go over to this page again, press enter, I should get my flower number 5 now, and I also have a nice URL. Okay, so this is Semantic URLs in Symfony. See you in the next one.